Hey, welcome to the channel. For today's project, I got a request to make a lingerie drawer. So what exactly is a lingerie drawer? Well, as far as I can tell, it's basically a drawer that's very long and sort of very skinny. So without much further ado, let's look at the project pieces.
As with any project, parts have to be rough cut and then stock needs to be prepared. In this case, I'm flattening a board by first taking out a hump or a heel in the middle of the board. With the board flattened, it is now time to square the edge. After that, the other side of the board will also be flattened. Here, I'm preparing the feet posts of the dresser, also flattening each side. To make it easier to square the bottom of each leg, I'm using the shooting board with a standing number 6 plane. Of course, I do the same with all the other pieces that will form part of the dresser.
So here are some of the pieces that I've prepped already. These will form the main legs, and these will form the sidebars and crossbars inside the cabinet so far. Here's some more pieces that I've prepared beforehand. These will also form part as within the cabinet itself, and those parts are basically the side panels that I use my bandsaw with. Now, as you can see, there's quite a lot of burnt scorch marks along the length where I cut it with the bandsaw, and that's because the wood is so damn hard. It had to go very slowly through the bandsaw, and of course that created all the burn marks as the heat builds up after a while. But it is still salvageable.
I am going to join the planks together now by first squaring the glue edges at the same time to make a perfect match by using my wooden jointer plane. After the planks have been glued together, I'm going to smooth the show face and make sure it is still flat. I'm using my Japanese plane since I found it easier to plane pieces with rough, uneven bottoms with it. So here are all the sideboards completed. At a later stage, they will be fitted to the dresser frame. To saw the legs to the correct length, I'm using a frame jig to help keep the sawing square and straight.
So for this project, I decided to make a chisel guide to help chop the mortises. So the idea is supposed to clamp it like this, and then take your chisel, and then you can chop more easily straight mortises for the tenon. And this one is corresponding with this tenon for the main parts of the frame, which I'll be showing quickly. So here you can see how the setup will look like. We've got one leg there clamped to the vise, and then we have our jig clamped to the leg, and I will demonstrate now how the chiseling will work.
Here is one of the side frames completed. It hasn't been glued together yet, since I must still add the grooves for the side faceboards and to make sure they fit. To make the sideboards fit into the grooves, I'm adding rebates to each side of the boards. My old wooden rebate plane is excellent to remove thicker material from the board. Of course, I must still add the grooves to the frame pieces, which I'm doing here. For each leg, I decided to round over the outer edge to take away the sharpness of the frame, and also to give the bottom parts of the legs an angled form. Finally, it is time to glue up the two main frames of the dresser. It takes quite a bit of time and effort with all the parts involved. With the side frames glued up, I'm preparing the bottom bars that will help join the two side frames together to form the main carcass of the dresser. These stop rebates are for the crossbars, which will be added at a later stage. Almost done with the main carcass. Just need to glue up the main bars to each frame. And finally, here we have the main carcass of the dresser being glued and held together. If you made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. The next part, I will be completing the dresser frame. See you next time.